In this video tutorial, we're going to show you how to do Daisy Duck's toes. If you are making Daisy Duck, the beak is done in a very similar way. So this tutorial will greatly help you with the beak also. So this is what we're going to be making. Look at those toes. You can see the lovely shape that's formed. You can see this is what we're going to be doing. So it gives a lovely toe shape. So we're making her foot. Now the pattern, all of the techniques are things that we have already covered. So the foot actually starts with a magic circle of 6 stitches, then 2 double crochets and an increase twice around. So double crochet, increase, double crochet, increase. That's round 2. Round 3 is 3 double crochets and an increase twice, and you're just building that up slightly each time, doing 2 increases on each round until you have this shape. So that's all techniques that we have covered already. Round 9 is just a plain double crochet round with 20 stitches. So we're now at the stage where we're going to do round 10. So I'll show this on the pattern so you can see, and we'll read through each section and show you how to do it. So 10 is fold flat and work through both sides to close the foot as you work this round. So we're actually going through both sides. We're going to be closing it as we're creating the toes. And the first instruction is to do 3 treble crochets and a slip stitch all in the first stitch. So the 3 trebles and a slip stitch are all going to be in one stitch. So we'll show you exactly what that means. So to fold it flat, all we're doing, instead of working around in circles, we're going to just fold it flat and have it so that your stitch marker is there and that the next stitch you're working in is at the corner. So you don't want it down here and start working here. We're working from one edge all the way across to the other edge. So your hook wants to be here on the right hand side, and we're ready to work in the next stitch. We're working through 2 because that is the front and the back, simply because that will close it as we work along. So we could do the toes without doing that, then we would need to sew it up. So we're going to do kill 2 birds with one stone, two parts of the foot with one stitch to make it easier. So we're going to go into our next stitch as normal. And when we do, we'll be working through the one directly behind it. It's not an exact science, but just try and work one stitch, next stitch, and then the next stitch, then the next stitch, so that they're matching all the way along. So for a treble crochet, we yarn over first before we start the stitch. And then we're going to go into here, and then also through the other one. So you're working through the back and front, so we're closing it as we work. So we'll yarn over and pull through, and we have 3 loops on our hook. So we're now going to yarn over, not going under the stitch, just going over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. And that is your treble crochet. Now we're working 3 of these into the same stitch. So we're not going to the next one, we're going to work back in here again. Just get a little bit tricky, but pull and lift it up, and we can see by lifting, that stitch is lifting, that's the one that we've been working in. So we're going back in here. So yarn over first again, back and back through both sides, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you're forever doing a yarn over and then pulling through 2 loops at a time until you've only got 1 left. That's the way I like to think of a treble, is yarn over before you start, and then we're going to be working through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and you keep in doing that until you've just got 1 loop left, and then it's finished. So I hope that helps and doesn't make it more confusing. Now this is a UK treble. If you were using US terms, this stitch is called a double crochet in US terms. But this is UK terms that we're working in, and it's a UK treble crochet. Just to clarify that. So we've got 1 more treble left to do. So yarn over, we're going back in that same one again. It might get a little bit tricky to get in, but you should be able to get back in. Pull through 3 loops again, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've now done 3 trebles all in the one stitch. The next instruction was a slip stitch, so that'll just bring our, instead of leaving it high in the air, it'll just bring it round, so we've got a nice rounded toe. So we're going back in the same stitch, and the slip stitch is just grabbing the yarn and pulling it through. That's it. That's the slip stitch. So we've done our first tour. So now I'm going to look at the next part of the instruction. I try not to look at all of it in the same time because it can get a little bit confusing. Next, do 3 double crochets. Put the pattern away, somewhere with stuff in, and do the 3 double crochets before we read the next. Get confused with the next part. So we're going to do 3. So we're going through both parts again, like so. So this is just a standard double crochet, and it's just 3 normal double crochets. So we're not doing them all in the same stitch. We're doing 1 in each because it would tell us if we needed to do them all together. So it's 3 double crochets. Done. Now, the next instruction is to do 3 trebles and a slip stitch all in the next stitch. So that's the same as what we did the first time. So here we are. So the next stitch we're going to be doing our 3 trebles again. So yarn over. I'm going to go in here and do our trebles. All back in the same stitch again. So make sure you're not accidentally going in the next stitch, because you'll run out of stitches if you do. So going for our 3rd treble now. Rewind if you need to watch them a bit more slowly. And then we're going to do the slip stitch again. Back in there. So now we have 2 toes. And our next instruction is next do 3 double crochets. And finally do 3 trebles and a slip stitch all in the next stitch and fasten off. So again we're doing 3 double crochets. So we'll carry out that instruction. 1, 2, 3, and that leaves us just with 1 stitch left at the end to do our final tour. So we're doing that in our absolute final stitch when we start the treble. So that's 3 double crochets, 1 in each stitch, and then again we're going to be doing 3 trebles in the end and then slip stitch and fastening off. So let's yarn over. Go in, going through both levels, stitches again, don't forget. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So yarn over before we start. And now our 3rd treble back in there. And then a final slip stitch back in that stitch. And then we're going to cut off our yarn. I'm going to leave a bit of a strand, like so. And then we're going to put that through the loop to fasten off. And then we've got our beautiful little foot. So what we can do now is I will thread my needle and I will feed it through here to come out somewhere around here. And then we can sew the leg on. And then the leg actually had another strand, so we can use the strand that was left on the leg to sew the leg to the body. I'll show you what I mean. Where's Daisy? Come back, Daisy. You are needed. So when we sew our leg on, we've got our foot nice and flat. I tend to use it with the lovely chains at the top. The back looks like that. It's still very nice. But I prefer that side, so that's the side I have as the front, so you can see those edge stitches. So when we sew the leg on, we're going to be sewing it here so that it comes up. And then we sew so I'll show you here, look, so that's how it's sewn on. So we'll just sew it around. So I would thread my needle, sew it through to the inside here, and then sew the leg on with that strand. And then when we sew the leg onto the body, you have another strand on the end of the leg that you left when you finished the leg. I would use that to sew that onto the body. And then we do that with both of them. But the pattern booklet will tell you when to do all those stages. But I just thought it's very helpful to see how these feet are formed. Look at those legs. Sexy legs, eh, Daisy? And that's how to do them. So I hope that tutorial helped. If ever you do find that you need another tutorial and you can't find it on our page, do send us a message at weewoolywonderfuls@outlook.com. Be careful with the spelling, and we will try and talk you through it. If we can't, then we're always happy to create a video to help you with any parts that you're stuck on, or direct you to one if there's one already. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you for watching.